This program is made possible by support from Burtech Waste Industries Incorporated. Burtech will take care of it.
Have you and your family bought a new TV recently? Well, if you have, what do you do with your old one? Tune into this episode of Curiosity Quest to find out what to do. Welcome to Curiosity Quest Goes Green. I'm your host, Joel Green, and this is a show that explores your curiosities on the environment. Well, today we got a letter from Nikki in Southern California, and Nikki wrote, "Dear Joel, dumping obsolete electronics seems to be one of the major problems in our environment. How do they recycle or reuse obsolete electronics? It is so interesting that I want to have my own recycling company when I grow up. Thank you." Well, Nikki, thank you for being so ambitious, and good luck on your company. Today we are out here at E-Recycling in Southern California, where we're going to learn how they take old electronics and recycle them. So let's get started on today's Curiosity Quest. Okay, so what you're saying, where? E-Recycling of California? That's where I need to bring this thing? Hey kids, can we fix it? I don't think so. All right, so I'm here with Dennis from E-Recycling. Now, Dennis, tell us, how does it work here?
Well, that's a good question. It works here. We take in electronic equipment, starting with the CRTs, which is your monitors and your TV units, and we just dismantle them down to their bare units. There's lead in the glass, in the monitors and in your TV screens that are harmful to the environment. And so the Department of Toxics has banned this material from going into the landfills and polluting our environment, our soil, and contamination. And so the Integrated Waste Management Board came up with, and the state legislature came up with a plan to allow residents, consumers, businesses to dispose of this material in a safe, free manner and bring it to people like us who are approved recyclers and dismantle this in a safe manner so that it doesn't harm our environment.
So we're not allowed, in California, it is against the law to put a TV or a monitor or any electronic item in a landfill, right?
Absolutely.
So in your trash can?
Or in your trash can. No. You need to bring it to an approved collector or recycler.
So now once a person finds an approved place to drop off,
right.
And I see these big green bins behind us, so I assume they're picked up in these and then they're brought to you, right?
Right. There are a number of ways to do this. We have household hazardous roundups, where counties and cities hold this for their residents. We provide these bins, and people come by during that day that's designated, and they drop off their electronic material, anything with a battery or a plug or a circuit board and monitors, and they put them in these bins, and at the end of the day, we bring these bins here, and we'll show you what we do with them.
What is a commodity?
A type of recycling, a type of way to recycle.
Well, I've heard lots of stories, but what I've heard is it's a giant car that runs over trash and then burns it.
A group of people? Stuff that you recycle?
Something you don't have a lot of.
An adjective.
We break this down into a commodity. Every piece of equipment, we recycle about 98% of this product goes into gets broken down into a commodity, which then is put into another product and recycled.
For those that don't know at home, what is a commodity?
A commodity is, you'll see that the plastic or the metal or the circuit boards is all made into something else. It's separated, made into something else, more of a raw material, put back in, and then is made back into another product. So that's what the commodity is. It's what's left out of our product that we can then turn back into another product.
Fun fact, fun fact, fun fact, fun fact.
Here you go. Here's some CQ fun facts on e-waste. Did you know that Americans are buying more computers than any other nation in the world? Currently, over 50% of U.S. households own a computer. Did you know that about every 3 years, we buy a new computer? When was the last time your family bought a new computer? So Dennis, we're looking at a monitor, a complete monitor right here, and then a completely pulled apart monitor right here.
Correct. Well, this is how this monitor comes into the facility here, intact, and we start to take the components apart. We cut the wire, as you can see, and we later we'll do more to that wire to get it down and break it all down.
All right.
This is the shell, the casing here that comes out, and inside we have, you know, a grade that covers that monitor. This is the yoke that is on the back of the monitor, and that's removed. And, you know, we have a circuit board in there.
Oh, okay.
And so, you know, that all comes apart and even gets broken down to a greater degree as it goes through the line.
So this monitor is it completely recyclable or what?
99% of everything you see is recycled.
Wow.
There's nothing here goes to the landfill.
All right, so Dennis, what happens? The trucks unload, the trucks back up and they start unloading, and then what?
Well, the truck backs up and gets weighed there, and the material gets logged in. Once that's completed, it's then transferred right behind here to a worker. We have our racks, which you see here, which are built exclusively for us, so we build them ourselves, and they're a safety issue. You can take out the rack right here, it opens up, and people are able to stack them in there. We put that back, they're forklift capable, we put on the truck, and they're brought weighed in, and then they're brought right behind here so our guys can open them up, and then they pull them right out of here and they put them on the table and they go to work.
What is CRT?
Current recycle tables.
A recycling organization.
Certified in case there's a earthquake.
Current recycling transportation?
Everybody knows that. Cathode ray tube.
Cathode ray tube.
I'm sorry,
A
what?
cathode ray tube.
Cathode ray tube.
Yeah, I learned that too. And you'll see what that is. This is the same thing as in your TV monitor.
So no different than a computer monitor.
That is a computer monitor.
Oh, I'm sorry, a TV monitor.
TV
to a
monitor,
computer.
pretty much the same.
So he's taking the various pieces and
Right.
throwing the plastic over there. It looks like metal right here.
Correct.
What is
Circuit
that?
boards.
Circuit boards.
He'll have the wires right here, and then he'll take that glass and he'll put it back into a smaller bin here, which will be transferred over to an operation which will then separate this.
The main reason for keeping these out of a landfill is because of the lead that's in
Because
there?
the lead is inside. There's about 3 to 6% of lead inside this glass.
So you're gonna let me pull one of these apart?
I'm going to let you pull one of these apart.
Yeah,
he's going to teach you how to do this.
Okay, 4 to 5 minutes you said?
Well, probably for you, maybe a little longer.
Oh,
He's been doing it for a while.
I was thinking a little shorter, maybe like 30 seconds.
Yeah, I don't.
Time me, 30 seconds.
We'd rather have you go. Yeah, there you
30
go.
seconds.
30 seconds. And that's why we have laws regulating this.
For people like me,
For people
huh?
like you. That's exactly right.
How do they take computers apart?
They use tools for it. They take the plugs out of there, and then they pick the computer screen up, and then they pick the bottom thing up, and they pick the cores out, and then they get the cores and put it somewhere safe.
A giant anvil. Drop it on it, boom.
Just, I don't know, I guess shutting down all the software and everything, and then just like taking it apart and taking apart all the pieces.
With hammers and screwdrivers.
One screw at a time.
Just take a screwdriver and pull it apart, I guess.
You don't use a hammer?
That's just me.
First thing we do here, you're going to cut this wire out.
All right, cut the wire off here.
Cut it right there.
All right.
Goes right into our barrel here.
In the barrel?
Put it right there.
Oh, we gotta cut this too?
Yep, we'll cut that cord.
All right.
All right. That
In
goes
the barrel? All right.
Oh, good, very good.
Oh, yeah. Oh, more? What's happening, Spirit? I was doing so good. All right, there we go. All right. I've always wanted to do this. Yeah. All right, that way. Here. All right, here. All right. And what is universal waste?
Waste in the world. Universal waste. It's pretty self-explanatory.
Where everybody has common waste, I guess.
That's every day. Everyday waste.
Stuff that goes into the sewers.
Well, lots of things. Personally, I think it's my cousin's brain.
All right, Dennis, what is universal waste?
Well, universal waste is anything with a battery, a plug, or a circuit board in it. It's not a CRT, which is different, as you know, a covered electronic waste, which is a definition used for a term for reimbursement from the state of California. This is universal waste. This is banned from the landfill as well. Anything with a plug, circuit board, or battery.
So like an old tape deck.
Old tape deck, you know, it's got stuff in there, it's got rotors, it's got plugs, it's got circuit boards. So, you know, printers, faxes, you know, you have all types of material. And the more that we're keeping out of the landfill, the better off we are here in California.
Real quick, Dennis.
Yeah, there's a circuit board.
This is a circuit board, huh?
This is one of your tapes that you have right inside your CPU and a CPU. And this comes right out of your CPU. You use it, you put a tape in there. This is what it looks like. This is going to be taken apart to a greater degree. You can see that it has metal, plastic, everything you want to still break down. So this will be broken down even further.
You're kind of, with some of these here, you're basically the beginning of the link, right?
We are the beginning chain.
You're pulling them apart,
starting them out, making them back into raw material, breaking it down, and then sending it someplace where they can refine it, put it back into a product.
Okay. Well, I see over here that you've got some of your hard drives for computers. Now, what are you doing with these hard drives?
Well, these hard drives are put into the machine that we had built, and we punch a hole in it, so they're unusable. Okay. And the reason is that for the privacy sector, privacy protection. We can have them degroused and clean, but even with that, there's the possibility that information at times has been proven to be able to get off of it. And since none of our material, we don't resell any whole units, so hard drives, memories, stuff like is not resold. No parts from any kind of computer is resold here as a whole unit. So we destroy it, but we make sure we destroy the hard drive. Joel, let me show you this. This is what goes on the back of a CRT, a TV, and this is what produces the light into the TV and produces the picture. I'm going to show you how we break this down, this little, and take all the different components out of here so we can make them reusable for other material. It comes out of here after it's crushed and they go through it. They start to take it apart. You can see that they're clipping the copper.
Yeah.
They're taking the plastic apart.
Now, I guess you have to crush it because it's hard to pull this apart.
Correct.
Whole, huh?
Correct.
Yeah,
So,
I would imagine
it'd be almost impossible to pull this apart.
Yeah,
so
it's
it's
a
got
lot
to get
easier.
crushed. We get it down to a smaller commodity and a workable commodity.
Now, I see you have 4 guys over here doing this. Is this, you look like you need more. I mean, the pile.
Probably need more. No, yeah, but they do a pretty good job. They go a little quicker. They get a little quicker, and we sort of get it down there.
Sure. And then over here to my left.
Over here to your left is a result of what comes out of here as far as copper goes.
Copper. Is it okay to handle this without a mask?
Well, it's okay.
Okay. And all this copper. Wow. That is a lot of copper. And I notice it's in different colors.
Different grades. It comes in different grades of copper.
Wow. I can't, that's a lot. It looks like hair.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like Melissa.
Like Melissa.
Melissa has copper hair. All right, so I'm at the separation table with Jeremiah. So Jeremiah, how are we going to separate these?
All right, so all the wire gets dumped on the table. It gets separated from the copper, aluminum. Aluminum goes in the box, copper comes to the shredder.
Okay.
The way we find out it's copper, we cut it open, and we can see it's copper.
Yeah, it's easy.
There's all the colored little wires, it's really easy, it's all aluminum. Every single colored wire is aluminum, that all goes.
Blue, red, green, doesn't matter, huh? But the black wires are...
No, there's a lot of copper wires, but mostly back, guys. This is tape, it's electrical tape. It's tape. These are around the TV tubes.
Okay.
They go around the monitor.
Yeah, I remember cutting.
So that gets processed here, and then it gets dumped into the machine.
All right, show us what you're gonna do.
You only want to do a little at a time because you don't want to jam the machine up.
Oh, so it's just eating it, huh?
Just eats it up. It grinds it up, grinds it up, grinds it up until it's very fine.
Wow. Wow.
Then we go to the back.
Go to the back, all right. Oh, yeah.
All the insulation is coming down.
So this is all the stuff that was wrapped around the copper.
Correct. All the fluff, which is the material inside the wire, gets sucked up through this vent and down, turned here and out this hole. And that's trash.
Oh, okay.
This gets recycled, and so does the copper.
It's amazing because there's a bunch of copper on that table, and what's trash, you said, is a very, very, very little amount.
Very, very little amount.
Wow.
About 100 pounds of copper, you're gonna get, depends how thick the rubber is on the insulation. Usually around 100 pounds of copper, you're gonna get about 70% copper, 29% insulation, and 1% fluff, trash.
Wow, so about 1% is trash.
And then it could be the other way the next day. It all depends on how thick the rubber is and how small the copper wire is inside the rubber.
Okay. What can the wires in the computer be used for?
Like toys and dolls, stuff like that talk.
If there were like some sort of electrical thing that needed wires, some sort of electrical product that needed wires, they could reuse wires from old computers and reuse them in new products or software or whatever you want to call it.
Christmas decorations. Electronics.
This is a finished product.
This is the
finished product.
Finished product.
99% copper.
Wow. So there's still a little bit of insulation.
Yeah, there's nothing we can do about it. It's a little bit contaminated, but nothing we can do about it.
Yeah. Wow.
This machine's brand new. They only made 16 of them so far. We have one of them.
Wow. In the world or
in the world?
Wow. You know, it's amazing. It's heavy. I've never held like pure copper.
This right here, it weighs 2,600 pounds, this right here.
2,600 pounds.
2,600.
The insulation is a form of plastic, basically.
Yeah, yes. It's all the plastic, all the stuff that the copper is wrapped around.
Oh,
Everything that's around the copper, that's in. Everything that's inside the wire, the fluff, that's in that bucket.
In the bucket.
And this is nothing. I can pick this up by hand.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
These
you
weigh
can
about.
pick it up. I can't.
these weigh about full 1,100 pounds.
1,100 pounds. Wow. That's a big difference between the weights.
Yeah, we can only put about another 1,000, 1,500 pounds in there before it's too heavy.
Yeah, wow. Okay. So this gets recycled also?
Yes.
So the copper will go to somewhere that uses copper to remake the wires that end up back in the TVs, right?
Correct. Or any copper. Any copper they redo, it's all recycled. All the copper is recycled.
We're pulling out the copper and it's going to be reused.
Reused. It gets recycled and then resold.
Resold. Wow.
And this stuff gets recycled and resold.
And this again was wrapped around the copper wire. And this is just a very small commodity or a very small part of the big.
Very, very small.
Very small part of the
One of the
TV.
7 things we recycle out of it. That's TV.
Yeah. Wow. Awesome. Let's go check out another thing. All right.
Fun fact, fun fact, fun fact.
Not 2 years ago, only 11% of computers were getting recycled. And what about cell phones? We throw away about 130 million of them a year. That's 65,000 tons of waste. And did you know that CRTs contain an average of 6 pounds of lead each? That's why we keep them out of the landfill. All right, so Dennis, we brought all the CRTs.
Correct.
Which are, again,
The cathode ray tubes.
all right, the big tubes that the TVs
Right.
and computers have.
Correct.
Over here, and what are we going to do with all these again?
Well, we're going to take this all apart because inside this cathode ray tube, this CRT, there is lead. And it is the lead that we're going to send off to a manufacturer who's going to remove that lead and turn it back into glass to CRT clean glass and make new monitors out of it.
All right, so now how do we do that?
Well, let's start. We first take off what we call the gun, and which is which is this part. We remove this gun, and it goes into the bin there, and then we take the CRT and we put it up here and we cut the band. And the band is right here. You can see the band.
Okay,
and the metal piece here that's holding it together.
Okay, so all the ones in the tube
Right.
or the bins back here, they have that metal
That's
band around.
correct.
You cut those off.
Cut those off.
And obviously recyclable.
Recyclable, and as we run them up, you can see that inside here we have a sort of a plastic kind of covering, and that'll be removed up here. But as we move up, we're going to separate that glass, going up to a conveyor belt, which separates the glass into two sections, what's called the panel, which has the bulk of the lead in it, and the funnel right here.
So all of the lead are in the glass that I'm looking at right here. The lead is within this glass.
Within this glass. And this is what we do not want to go to a landfill.
All right.
And so we're able to reuse this by sending it to a manufacturer who takes that lead out of that glass.
Okay. And then the plastic piece that was in the back that I see right here, this is recyclable as well?
Everything that we've taken apart is recyclable. It all becomes plastic and metal.
It's so eye-opening. I mean, everything I'm seeing here is just so eye-opening because I just gave it no thought back long time ago when I threw a TV away. Long time ago.
And many people did, and we did for a long time. But now that, technology is caught up,
yes,
and we realize what we had been doing by potentially damaging our environment, we're now able to do something that's productive and safe and sound.
Okay, now, do you need anyone?
No.
Any help?
I think you've done enough damage for one day.
Yeah, I noticed you're moving me towards the outside.
We're trying to, the next venture is we go around the corner here and you're gone.
Fun fact, fun fact, fun fact.
Did you know that the average PC, not including the monitor, is typically 40% steel, 30 to 40% plastic, 10% aluminum, and 10% other metals like copper, gold, silver, and you get the picture. All right, so Dennis, we've talked about the copper obviously becoming useful again, the glass being how do you call that, de-leadicized?
De-leadicized, that's good. That's a new word, I like that. Yeah,
I coined that, by the way.
Yeah, I like it. We're gonna have to give that to you.
And then the glass becoming useful glass again.
Right.
What about all this plastic, that make up the bodies of the computers? And
well, we have two types of different plastic. We have the white plastic and the black plastic, obviously. Right. And it goes back to being recycled. We send it back to someone who pelletizes it, makes them back into pellets and turns it into a product again. It's again the same story. You're getting the drift here. We're recycling and we're putting this back into another product.
No, I'm kidding. This is the back of the TV, not the front of the TV, right, Dennis?
Right. These are the backs of the TVs and sort of the cases of our old large TVs. The ones sort of historically, you see, these are the kinds that sometimes you really want to put in a museum. But this is the wood, and it's separated here. Yeah. And you're going to follow this wood because this wood goes into a composting facility, which then gets processed and is used for land, ground cover, and other types of materials.
That's amazing. I mean, I appreciate the time, Dennis, because we saw the TVs, the computers, everything being pulled apart, and the copper going this way, and the plastic going this way, wood going this way.
Well, I think you would appreciate it, considering that you're in front of the camera, then you're in the TV, and now you see what happened to it. What happens to it at the end of life, and that's what we are called. We are called an end-of-life facility.
So I did some investigating, and not only does my city do e-recycling, so does my local hauler. So I thought I'd bring some things, drop them off. I want to thank everyone at e-recycling, and I especially want to thank you, Nikki, Nikki for sending us on today's Curiosity Quest. Now, if you want to send me on a green quest, all you have to do is go to kvcr.org, click on the Curiosity Quest link, and simply tell me what you're curious about. And you could be the one that sends us on our next great adventure. Now remember, it is our responsibility to take care of this planet. So I'm curious, have you gone green? I'm Joel Green, and I'll see you next time. What? My keyboard doesn't work. Oh. It's really not going to work now.